Hey guys, Zoliax here and welcome to my tutorial video on scheduling. I'm going to start off with the really basic stuff and work my way up to the more complicated routes such as the 168-hour one. But yes, let's start off with the 24-hour routes, which is what I recommend for beginner players. And the first one I'm going to start off with is the exactly 24-hour route, so you have a route that the flight time is exactly 24 hours. And for my example on that, I have a flight here flying from London Heathrow to Okinawa in Japan, and as you can clearly see from here, flights leaving at 7 AM every day, nice and easy to schedule, fills up 100% of the schedule as well, and that's something that's quite important in the game. As everyone knows, in the real world, every second that the aircraft is on the ground, it's not making money. So, as in real life, within the game, you want to try and keep your aircraft airborne. And by having 100% full schedule, you're making the most out of every aircraft that you have. So this is your standard 24-hour schedule, nothing different on each day. Nice and easy to look at your demand, to work it out and everything, and if you need to have help on that, please check out my tutorial video on how to work out which aircraft to purchase for the amount of demand that you have. It can be really helpful for some people who are fairly new to the game. The different connotations then of the 24-hour route. If you have anything that fits nicely into a 24-hour day, so 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours and 12 hours, they're the easiest ones to look at, and I'll show you. This is a 3-hour route, again 100% schedule complete, and as you can see, because it's a 3-hour flight to and from Johannesburg to Bloemfontein, it fits in nicely 8 times during the day. And again, if you use my demand tutorial and the spreadsheet that I show you in there, it'll make it really easy for you to work out what aircraft you need when you're flying that frequently during the day. Obviously, if you have a 4-hour flight, you'll be flying 6 times a day. A 6-hour flight, you'll be flying 4 times a day. 8 hours, 3 times a day. 12 hours, twice a day. The other example I want to show you for a 24-hour route is when you have a route that is not nicely fitted into a 24-hour day. Now, it's not a nice easy multiple of 24. So if I show you an example of this, for me is my Perth to Auckland route. As you can see on this screen here, at the bottom left and the second along on the top row, Perth to Auckland and Perth to Christchurch. Perth to Auckland is a 14-hour and 45-minute flight, and Perth to Christchurch is a 14-hour and 15-minute flight. If we have a look then, I've paired up my flights. So in this case I have Perth to Auckland accompanied by Perth to Melbourne. This way I've been able to take that 14-hour flight, or 14-hour and 15 minutes in this case, or 45 minutes even, paired it up with the Melbourne route to try and maximise the schedule as much as possible. Obviously I can't fly to Auckland twice in one day. There's obviously not 28 hours in one day, sadly. So this is the best way I've come up with to maximise your schedule time. As you can see when we come out, this one's running at 96% schedule capacity. Anything over 95% is, ideal. 100 is best case scenario, obviously. But if you can't do that, you want to be up there in the 95% or more. Right. The next one I want to go on to is the more complicated stuff. I'm going to start off with the 168-hour route. And then we're going to work downwards from there, just because I find it easier to explain it this way round. So if I show you, these are my London Heathrow to Australia routes. 100% route capacity. And as you can see here, there are 5 different routes within the 1 week. London Heathrow to Perth, Heathrow to Melbourne, to Brisbane, to Sydney, and to Montreal. The flight time for all 5 of these routes, as you can see, add up to 168 hours, which is the number of hours in a week. The way these routes work is you have to have a multiple of 7 aircraft. So it could be 7, 14, 21, 28, etc, etc. And what you need to do for these is you take your first aircraft of your 7 and schedule it pretty much like what you have on the screen in front of you. For the other 6, you need to copy this schedule, and the easiest way to find your aircraft, if you have quite a lot of aircraft at a hub, is sort it out by use and the up arrow, and your aircraft that have 0% usage will be at the top. Tick the 6 aircraft that you want to use for your other days and schedule shift them by 24 hours. So the first one will be 24 hours, the second one will be 2 days, the third one 3 days, the fourth one 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. What this means, obviously when you've done that, hit the confirm button and that will copy the schedule onto the other 6 aircraft. What that does then is it offsets everything by a day for each single aircraft. So as you can see on this aircraft, as an easy example, the flight from Heathrow to Montreal leaves at midnight on Sunday. The aircraft that you scheduled with a plus 24 will leave for Montreal at 12 midnight on Monday. The plus 2 days will be 12 midnight on Tuesday, and so on and so on. This way, across your 7 aircraft, you will fly to each of your 5 destinations once in that week. Obviously served by different aircraft. If you want to fly more often, you can then go on to the 14 aircraft, where you can do exactly the same again. You can either just completely repeat the schedule and have them offset by 1 day again, but then you'd have both of your aircraft flying at exactly the same time. For those of you who want a bit more realism in this, you can create in your second set of 7 aircraft, create a new, so if I look, this is a set of 14 as well, so if I go back to my other set, you'll be able to see that my Montreal flight leaves at 12 PM in this one. So everything is offset by 12 hours to my other 7 aircraft. So this way I have 2 flights every day to every destination, and those 2 flights each day are offset by 12 hours. And obviously you can do this with 21 aircraft, with 28 aircraft, and have them offset however you like. But the main key point to this is that you have to have a multiple of 7 aircraft, and each of your 7 aircraft need to be offset by 24 hours from the previous one. And then beyond that, it's up to you. Right, the adaptations of this then are the 84-hour route. So 84 hours fits into the 168 hours twice. That means that with 1 aircraft, you can fly each route twice in 1 week instead of once. As an example of this is from my Johannesburg hub. DXB. And show you this schedule. So the point of this is you find a group of airports again, but this time you want them all to add up to 84 hours. This is the other alternative when you have a route that's above 12 hours, so you can't fly there twice in 1 day. This is the alternative, is to find a group of airports that can add up to 84 hours, or even 168 if you really wanted to. I personally reserve my 168-hour ones for the really ultra long haul flights. But as you can see from this schedule, we fly to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Barcelona, Tokyo, and it's repeated twice within the 168 hours of the week. So it flies to each airport twice, but the second set, or the second flight, is offset by 12 hours from the first one, if you can see. So on the Monday we fly to Abu Dhabi at 4:30, but the next flight to Abu Dhabi is the Thursday at 4:30 in the afternoon. Once again, with the 168, has to be done in sets of 7, and each aircraft has to be offset by 24 hours. With the 84-hour one, as I said earlier, you fly there twice in 1 week instead of once in 1 week, which does make it slightly easier for the demand. The other further adaptations to this then are the 56-hour route. Find routes that add up to 56 hours, and repeat that schedule 3 times to fill up the entire week. 56 times 3 being 168. Same thing then applies to the 28-hour route, which you can multiply to get to 168. Now, for those of you who are 1 silver star and higher, you are fortunate enough to have access to the Finder tool in the game. This will allow you to find routes a lot easier. If you're going for the basic 12-hour or 24-hour routes, the functionality is there within the game for you to find any route that is within reason to what you want, basically. For those of you, however, who are below 1 silver star, and this is also applicable to people who are looking for circuits, I recommend this website to you. It's called destinations.noway.info/en/index.html. Within this website you have the Route Finder tool. It allows you to select your aircraft, your departure hub, what airport categories you want, and your route durations. It also allows you to filter, so you can filter out smaller airports if you really wanted to. The key thing to think about here though is the aircraft. Each aircraft has a different flight speed. Aircraft with slower flight speeds will naturally take longer to fly there. So if you're looking to do a 12-hour flight and run it twice a day, it might fly there twice a day in 12 hours in an A350. But if you go for an A330, for example, that flies 40 kilometers an hour slower, it might take 12 hours and 15 minutes or 12 hours and 30 minutes, which means you're not going to get 2 flights in per day. So that's something to watch out for. The other advantage or good thing about this website is the Circuit Finder tool. This again allows you to input your airport, your departure hub, and you have a configuration for your circuit. It defaults to 168 hours and your tri-class strategy. You can change that to 84 hours, 56, 28, 24. You can also change your strategy to an economy focused one. This will prioritize airports that have a high economy multiplier in the game. For route length, you can choose whichever you like. Normally for circuits, I personally advise the long haul. The long haul always bring in the most money as well. So especially for beginner players, it might cost a lot, but the long haul is where the better money is at. You can also filter out or any particular regions in that, and you can put in to exclude certain airports. If you've already owned the route, for example, you can filter them out. So as you can see here, I've got an Airbus A350 from Sydney doing 168 hours tri-class and long haul. Hit the search button and it comes up here with my route finder or proposed circuit. Circuit brings up exactly 168 hours, which is ideal. We get that 100% schedule filled. Flying to Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Rome, Dallas and Seoul. The other thing to watch out for this though is you need to make sure that you do buy an aircraft that does travel at that speed, basically. If I was to do the same search in an Airbus A330-300, for example, that route wouldn't be applicable because those routes would take much longer. So if I hit search on a different aircraft, you'll see that it comes up with more India, China routes, just because the flight times will be different, and it's going to take a lot longer for those aircraft to get into the European cities, for example. So that concludes my video on scheduling. I hope that's been helpful for you. And yeah, please feel free to check out my demands video. Hopefully that will give you a bit of help when it comes to what demands you need for routes up to 24 hours. Obviously, so yeah, that's for like single airport use, basically, single route use. I hope this has been helpful for you. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I will catch you again soon. Thanks for watching.